Okay, welcome back, Property Nirvana members. My name is Brian Carmody, founder of Property Nirvana, and I'm here with Ivan Anz from PhilanthroInvestors and Equity and Help, which is another company he's founded as well. Great concept of being able to invest in real estate, but also do some philanthropic good works while you're growing your money. So I'm really excited to talk to Ivan today about how we got here, and how the whole thing works and how you can get involved. So without further ado, Ivan, welcome. And I'd love to start off with just, before you started PhilanthroInvestors and Equity and Help, can you give our listeners a brief summary of the ups and downs you had in your business life? I find people who overcome obstacles very inspiring. I think we all need to hear those stories. So if you wouldn't mind.
Of course, Brian, and thank you for having me in your show. I am glad to be here with you. And yeah, the story for how PhilanthroInvestors came about is very interesting because around 2009, I am talking like 12 years ago, I was involved in speculative investments, and I was just seeing how money grows, but just looking at numbers in the screen, right? Like on the markets, Forex, cryptocurrency, just watching numbers go up and down in a screen.
Right.
And it was kind of depressing to a point that all that you see is on a screen, which is not life, right? Life is people. Life is relation with people. It's not on a screen. It's not numbers in a screen.
Right.
So what I did was I got more involved into that, but I was looking, and I was thinking that it may be something that exists out there that allow you to don't just invest, but invest with the purpose. To don't just invest money for money, but to grow your money while you are changing people's lives, to grow your capital while you are helping others. And I was looking, and I started doing a private neighborhood development down in Latin America. I am originally from Argentina. And when I started this private neighborhood, I was also feeling that I was doing lots for money. I am selling a lot, I am getting money. I am selling a lot, I am getting money. So I was feeling also like, giving you an asset and give me the other type of asset with this cash.
Right.
And then I arrived to the point that I was one day driving in my car, a family that was looking at these lots. And the father's name was Andres. And Andres says to me, Ivan, I really love this development. I really love this place. But there is something in the development that I love so much, but I cannot afford $50,000. I cannot. And the kids in the back of the car start saying, Daddy, we love to live in this place. And imagine the dad at that position, right? So the dad comes out of the car, and I say, Andres, listen, can you give me half of the money of the 50,000, and then I will finance the other half? And I say, well, he says, I cannot. And then he says, Ivan, listen, I live paycheck to paycheck. And I say, hey, can you then get the bank loan? And the guy says, no, because I missed a payment on credit cards. And so I don't qualify for the bank loan. And so, okay, I say, well, when you make it the possibility to have this lot, call me. What else I can say, right?
Right.
So that night I was taking a shower, and it was a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I am taking the shower, and I received this God revelation.
Yeah.
PhilanthroInvestors. And he shows me how in 20, 30 years from now, people will be not so much throwing money away in the gambling industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I started researching at that time, and I find out that $450 billion, which is half a trillion, every single year goes to the gambling industry.
Wow.
So that was like wow for me, like the same for
revelation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I realized that the whole idea what he was trying to communicate to me that time, and I call Andres the next morning, and I say, Andres, I had an idea. How much can you pay per month to own this lot? And he says, why are you asking me? Just tell me. Well, maybe $250, $300 a month. And I say, well, congratulations. The lot is yours.
That
and
easy.
The guy,
wow.
And the guy on the other side, he was just jumping and yelling to his family of happiness, yelling of happiness to his family, and the kids on the other side were, Daddy, how yeah, we own the lot. And so at that time, but he says, Ivan, how this will be? Well, you will start paying, you will start paying $300 a month starting from next month. And you will pay that for 15 years. And you will there is only one conditional. You need to come on Saturday to the lot with your family, and we will do a special thing there together. And then the entire family comes, and then I get them to plant a tree together. Nice. And I also get them to cut a green ribbon between two torches.
Okay.
And then when the guys do that, when the whole family is doing that, then I see the grin on their faces, like, and it changed my life on the sense of, this is what I want to do with my life, is I want to help people achieve what they otherwise cannot achieve.
Right. Love it.
So that's how I was the first philanthropy investor. And the whole idea was, okay, philanthropy means to put your time or money for nothing in exchange, for no money in exchange. And investing means putting your money and time for money in exchange, for a return, right? Financial return. Yeah. So when you combine the two words, you have a philanthropy investor. A philanthropy investor is someone who invests his time and or money to promote human welfare, engaging emotionally. That's the most important part, engaging emotionally, while earning a financial return.
Right. I love it.
That's what it is. And so just to give you a little bit more of detail on how it arrived to the US, in 2009-10, my wife tells me, Ivan, why we don't take this model to the US? Because anything that happened in the US, the world copy. Yep. The good and the bad, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And at that time, yes. And yep. And so at that time, I say, okay, but I don't think it will work, Bella, because in the US, 100% of the people own their home. It's the country of the American dream. Everybody owns their home. and that's how someone from Latin America sees to the US.
Wow. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay.
You see? So anyway, I started doing some research, and I started going through different trainings and real estate workshops and so on in the US, through internet, flying to the US and so on. And then in 2012, I discovered that 51% of Americans do not qualify for a traditional mortgage.
Believe it.
And I also discovered that the US in the home ownership ranking, highest rates of home ownership ranking per country in the world. The US is positioned in the number 43. So that means, if you go deep into numbers, that 64% of people in the US, or families of household, are owners. 36% are tenants. So if you have 100 million houses, that means that you have 36 million houses that are tenants.
Yeah.
So that's what I discovered. And then I studied more and more, and I realized that that's one of the reasons for family instability. When they are moving to place, they cannot have a place to stabilize their family, to grow their family, to grow their kids in the same community, so they create the same friends and keep doing the relations with the same friends. All of that is a consequence. And then crime and kids going into crime and going into drugs and things like that are very, very, I will not say 100%, but very much related to families' instability, in the sense of not being able to own a home, a place that they can call home, and just being tenants, right?
I agree with that wholeheartedly from what I've seen too. Yep.
Yeah. So that's how Equity and Help was born in 2014, because I started researching and doing it for me in 2012, and in 2014 I launched this for my family and friends. And you know how business start, right? Friends and family, and then I wrote to other people and things like that. And so based on that, we grew the company from that point. And equityandhelp.com, which is the company that represents house in philanthropy investing, starting to do the same that I was doing in 2009 with Andres. But instead of doing it with lots, with abandoned houses, because I discovered that 50,000 homes every single month are going to foreclosure. So 50,000 families, I'm talking before the pandemic, right? 50,000 families are losing their homes every single month in the US. With the pandemic, it came down because of the protection laws and so on to 5,000, 10,000. So it decreased a lot. But while all of these protection laws go away, this is going to become crazy again, like the foreclosures and all of that, right? So that's why Equity and Help is there with our program Easy Homes, that allows families to live in their own homes with the 1,000 down payment and a very low monthly payment, which is half of what it will cost to rent the same house. And the family will become homeowners in the day number 1. And then we have done this now with the company that is Inc. 500 for 3 years in a row. So position number 83 in the country. And then we have 47 million of PhilanthroInvestors, $47 million of assets that we recover from the banks at auction houses. And these PhilanthroInvestors are making between 8 to 12% return every year, while the families are walking into their own house with 30% equity in day number 1. And that's the philanthropic part of the model. So it's very, 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 very unique. And
so that's fantastic. So could we, and let's slow down and put kind of a little magnifying glass on the numbers a little bit about how you're able to make it work, how the tenant is able to walk into the property with 30% equity, that kind of thing. Just kind of maybe take us through an example or with some simple numbers.
Yes. So just to take you through an example, one of the most important things is that we get the investors to invest, right? Let's say a minimum of 3 houses. That 3 houses is 135,000 investment to 150,000. That's the investment from the investor. But he's buying 3 houses that on the market after repair value are, let's say, a total of 250. So for 135,000, he's buying 250,000 worth of after repair value. Now, what happens? Each of these houses is going to go to the market. We are going to put it in the market for the investor. The investor becomes the CEO of his own housing portfolio, and he becomes a philanthropic bank, a philanthro lender, right?
Okay.
And he will do seller financing to these families at an interest rate of 12% for 20 years, but he will sell the house to this family for 30% below the after repair value. Because for the family, it's much better to have a higher interest rate that then they can refinance in a few years from now, and to access to the home with a lot of equity, because in this way, we are getting these families to go ahead. We are getting these families to also be investors. We are helping these families to create wealth for themselves, because these investors that are making 8 to 12% return base, I am telling you that because if he bought 3 houses and one is, it takes time to sell, or, the family got late for a few months because they had a family situation, etc., then that gets investor to perform 8 to 12%. But in that case, the family is, everybody wins. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And so $47 million producing an average of 20% capital gain in the first year for the investor, and 30% equity for the family in day number 1. That means that the investor is selling the house for 20% more of what he purchased for, but at 30% below the after repair value to the family. You see?
Nice. That's a nice return. Sure. It's a win-win, like you said.
Exactly. So that are the numbers. We have PhilanthroInvestors in 14 countries. And yeah, we have also even a program for realtors that wants to help us expand and so on. We call it PhilanthroInvestors Ambassadors, because they bring us, they're not selling the houses, they are bringing us PhilanthroInvestors, and we have a compensation plan and so on. And what I would like to show you, if you allow me a few minutes, is a real story of an investor of 2 minutes and a real story of a family for 2 minutes. If I can share the screen, if you don't mind. I don't hear you, Brian.
Oh, please do. That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So yes, let me share the screen here, so I can access to this. Do you have, while I put up the video, do you have any other questions so far, Brian, that I can answer for you?
Are there any protections that PhilanthroInvestors provides for the investor?
Well, the protection itself is the asset, the house. Yeah. Because you're not investing in a fund, you're not investing in a company, you are buying the asset as an investor. Yep. So you are in full control of the investment. You are the CEO of your own portfolio. You make the key decisions. We show you different houses, you pick the houses. We locate the families in it. We tell you what is going on with the families. We give you a monthly report. You decide what you want to do with each family. If a family had a situation that they cannot pay for any type of situation because they just lost their job, or they had a baby, or they need to buy the supplies for the school or medical situation, you decide what to do, how much philanthropy you want to do, if you want to do extension, if you want to send the late payments to the principal, if you want to send them to the end of the loan, if you want to gift that to this family as a philanthropy, if they did a great job in the home and they comply with all the payments during the whole year, you can gift even the Christmas payment, and that's part of the program, and so on, right? And on the other side, each house is purchased using a land trust. So when the process goes inside Equity and Help, how it goes is we create a land trust, and that land trust is the one that purchased the house, And when you purchase the house, you are purchasing the land trust from us. So in that case, you have a lot of privacy because you have a contract with us and you control us because you are in full control of the key decisions, material decisions of your investment and so on. But through this vehicle, so we can execute your decisions.
Understood. Okay.
So that puts investor in a position that is very, very strong, because if we don't do a good job, or we don't execute your decisions well, then you can fire us and you just hire another property manager. Like there is thousands of property managers across the US, right?
Right.
So that's a very, very unique model. So just, give me just a second here. I will show you first an investor and then a family.
Okay. This is great. Thank you.
My name is Kim Bellotti, and I am basically an entrepreneur. Done a little tiny bit of real estate, and it really is how to get the right numbers. The object is to make sure you're not going to lose money. And so the fret over that, it kind of freezes you into really moving forward. I'm just telling anybody who might be thinking about investing with this company, you can pick the amount of money that you want to give it over to the company. They will sit down with you. They'll let you see the houses. You can pick whatever you want. The second that report comes to me in the email, the check is going to be in the mail a couple of days later. I get the check in the mail and I go, oh, there's another check in the mail. Great. I get a little bit excited about the families in the homes because my girl in Equity and Help that markets my houses for me, she sends me the photos. Like if I have a family that never would have been able to buy a house otherwise is moving into one of my houses, they're fixing it up, they're sending her photos. We just put these bushes in the backyard. Look at the roses. We painted new flooring, and she forwards that all to me. So I get to see the happiness of all of that. So the purpose of Equity and Help from me is to make everybody win, from the company to the investor to the family moving into the house to the property even. I mean, it's just every aspect, there's some improvement, and it's fair across all of them. It's like there's a nice profit for the company. There's a nice profit for me. There's a good home for the person moving in. They will have a great investment. In the future, the equity of the house will go up for them. It's just across the boards, it just works for everybody. Nobody loses.
That's incredible. Incredible.
Thank you very much. And then let me show you one more. Just a second here. I want to show you one more, which is this one.
We've been here for
almost
3 years now.
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. 3 years.
3 years. And it's home. It feels like home. This is home. And we still, and the most fun part is we still got stuff with things that we want to do. Be more creative. Turn this into that, move this around, We live all around. South Boston, Virginia, and then Philly. It feels good to be able to call your house a home. You know what I mean? And it's a difference. It's a very big difference to be able to paint a wall green if you like, or paint a wall brown or tan or whatever, which I have a lot of colors going on. So I work for families, taking care of their loved ones. And Harry is building maintenance. He's been with his company for 26 years. So that comes in handy with this house too, his building maintenance knowledge. I've heard of in-house financing. You can see it on the internet when you go searching for like different things, but I've never heard of a program like this. That's the difference between trying to find a landlord to work with you so you can have a place to stay versus a whole company.
Right.
You know what I mean? That specializes in helping home people who most likely wouldn't be able to get a traditional mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? And to help them actually be homeowners. But yeah, it was a fun experience. It was, the game room came from the 17-year-old. I tried to be colorful. We call one room the gold room, one room the red room. So that came from my daughter. So, and then we kind of got carried away with it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
What a unique program you've created, Ivan. It's wonderful, and hopefully it sounds like it's already working for sure, that you're in 14 different countries already. And what I was going to say is hopefully this will definitely become, if not the new standard, a major force in an opportunity for people to invest their money in a certain way, rather than, the stock market or something else that's a little bit less personal.
Exactly. Yes. That's totally, you totally got the vision, my friend.
Yeah. Excellent. Boy, so I guess the last question I have for you is, how can Property Nirvana members get involved there as investors? Typically they are real estate investors of all different kinds of flavors and niches. And how does one learn more and find out if they can invest with you?
Well, they need to go to pi.today.
pi.today, okay.
pi.today, which is PI stands for PhilanthroInvestors, but it's pi.today.
Okay.
And that's the short link for PhilanthroInvestors.com, basically.
Yep.
And they need to basically ask, contact in the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as they contact us or request more information and learn more, they will get in touch with my VP of expansion, Miss Wendy Rios. She's amazing. She has been working with me for almost 10 years now. And she is in Florida, located, with our headquarters for Equity and Health are in the Tampa Bay area, in one of the Bank of America towers in the 7th floor. We have there more than 30 full-time staff, and we have also contractors in more than 32 states. We have like 217 contractors in more than 32 states that are where the homes are located, right? So Bendy will deliver the PhilanthroInvestors presentation to them, and we'll do the discovery call basically, and take them through the whole process, and then they will start learning. The most important thing for us is education, because we want the PhilanthroInvestors to be in control, education and decision. So we want the PhilanthroInvestors to not only want really to do this, because not every investor is a PhilanthroInvestor, but also we want them to have the knowledge. Because something that I discovered, Brian, when I was researching also investments, was that there is this idea that is being sold that passive income equals financial freedom, and passive income equals financial freedom. But when you look at it deeply and you go in the definition of the word freedom, the word freedom is not connected at all with being laying out in the beach, doing nothing and receiving a check. The word freedom is connected with purpose, is connected with being engaged, is connected with having knowledge, having control, being alert of your environment, receiving fulfillment for what you are doing. Is totally the opposite to being, giving the money away to someone and waiting for that money to come back. So I created a concept which I call the true financial freedom, So that's why we want to give a lot of knowledge to philanthropy investors, and that's why to keep them in a key position, which is being in control of their investment, being the CEO of their portfolio, and so on, right?
Oh, I love it. This is near and dear to my heart too, because I am a big advocate of trying to fix the affordable housing crisis and the housing shortage myself, and different businesses I run as well. And thank you so much for spearheading this mission, doing it, building it with excellence, and creating something that other people can take part in. Thank you, Ivan. It's really fantastic.
You're welcome, Brian.
Great. So I'm sure over the coming months, we'll have Property Nirvana members checking in with you and Vendi to learn more.
Awesome, Brian. And we will be here to welcome them and educate them in anything we know and can. And we will, it will be a great journey together, I know, and have a wonderful new week. And for all the Property Nirvana members also, a wonderful day, week, new year ahead, and looking forward for you to be a philanthropy investor.
Outstanding. Thank you, Ivan.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.